Okay, so we'll go over your homework. I had asked you to do on practice 7-1 the evens. So let's take a look. On practice 7-1 the evens, problem number 2, it says if sine of theta is 2/3, we're going to find cosine of theta. And the formula that we could use to do this is sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is 1. So 2/3 squared plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. So 4/9. We get that cosine squared of theta would be 5/9. And cosine of theta would be plus or minus square root of 5/3. All right, so let's go to the second problem. The problem does say that all of our angles are between 0 and 90 degrees, so that's why the answer is just positive root 5/3 instead of the plus or minus, but that doesn't matter. I prefer if you put the plus or minus because that shows me you remember absolute value. Problem number 4, it says that tangent of theta is equal to 3. Find secant of theta. Well, we do have a formula. It said tangent squared of theta plus 1 is equal to secant squared of theta. So if we know tangent of theta is 3, 9 plus 1 is 10. And the secant of an angle in quadrant 1 is always going to be positive, but we could put plus or minus the square root of 10. For problem number 6, it says tangent of theta is 7/2. Find sine of theta. Now sine we could convert to cosecant, and tangent we can convert to cotangent. So we do have a formula that includes cotangent and cosecant. Formula was 1 plus the cotangent squared of theta is equal to the cosecant squared of theta. So 1 plus cotangent would be 2/7. So this would be 1 plus 4/49. And 49/49 plus 4 is 53/49. Take the square root of both sides, and we'd get that cosecant of theta is equal to plus or minus the square root of 53/7. And the question did ask us to find sine, so we just have to convert using our reciprocal identities. Sine of theta would be plus or minus 7/√53. Multiply top and bottom by root 53. And we get that sine of theta is plus or minus 7/53/53. Moving down to number 8. From number 8, it says the cosine of 892. All right, so that's a big number. Let's figure out where that is. Remember, all students take calculus. So this would be 360, this would be 720, this would be 810, and 892 would be somewhere before 900. So this would actually give us a reference angle of 8 degrees. Sine is positive in that quadrant, so we're going to, for our answer, we're just going to write the sine of 8 degrees. This was cosine. Okay, so the cosine is negative in that quadrant. So because the cosine is negative in quadrant 2, we're going to write negative cosine of 8 degrees. For problem number 10, it says the cosecant of 495. Well, this is 360, 450. So we're again in quadrant 2. And if this is 450, and this is 540, our reference angle would be 540 minus 495 is just 45 degrees. Now cosecant's the reciprocal of sine. Sine is positive in quadrant 2, so cosecant's also going to be positive in quadrant 2. So we would just write that the cosecant of 45 degrees. A couple more to go. Number 12. It's asking us what's the sine squared of beta. Beta is just like theta. It's just another Greek letter. And then over cosine of beta. So first thing we should do is let's convert everything to sines and cosines. Cotangent is cosine over sine. So one of these sines cancels out with one of these, just using basic algebra. And we would get sine of beta times the cosine of beta, all divided by the cosine of beta. You're multiplying and dividing by the same thing, so you get sine of beta. Really, these kind of problems are less pre-calculus. They're really just all algebra. And for problem number 14, it says the cosine of x plus the sine of x, tangent of x. Let's convert to sines and cosines. Now I see we have a fraction and a non-fraction, so I'm going to get a common denominator on the cosine. Just like how you would get a common denominator with something like this. You'd multiply by 2 over 2. You want that denominator, right? So it's the same idea. You want a denominator of cosine, we multiply by cosine over cosine. We get cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x all over cosine of x. Well, this is a Pythagorean identity. Remember, sine squared plus cosine squared is 1. So this is just 1. We get 1 over cosine. 1 over cosine is secant. All right. So for today's lesson, we're not going to be learning anything new. I just want you to practice this stuff some more. So what I would like you to do for classwork or homework is I would like you to practice 7-1. But now please try the evens. Or I'm sorry, we just did the evens. So please try the odds. We'll go over that tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.